Hello and welcome to Just a Guy with your social educator, your LLB, your loony left bully. That's right, it's me, Mike V. How is everyone this afternoon, this evening, whatever we're in? So I appreciate everybody showing up today. Give me a second here. My tripod is not cooperating with me, of course. Why would it? All right. There we go, guys. Appreciate that. All right. Perfect. Just like each and every one of my social educators out there. Thank you very much. I know we were supposed to have done this on a different platform, but I could not get my streaming application to work, so we're coming back on Facebook. We're going to do it live here. And once we get all the streaming networks up and flowing properly, I'll be moving this around to different platforms. Live anyways. So I appreciate everybody showing up last minute. And again, just want to say thank you to y'all for following and continuing to help me grow. The other day, though, we spoke about Act Blue. For those of you that don't remember what Act Blue was, that was the investigation done by House Administration Committee Chairman Brian Steele, Republican from Wisconsin, and Chairman of the House Judiciary Committee, Ohio Republican Jim Jordan. These guys went in together to investigate Act Blue for accepting illegal donations from four foreign adversaries, those being Iran, Russia, Venezuela, and China. And basically, they're routing illicit monies or donations to the Democrat campaigns through Act Blue. So there have been some updates to this. So I'd like to fill everybody in as to what's really going on. Again, as I said last time, nothing is proven yet. So we're looking, but just like I said the last time too, everybody has a telltale sign when they lie. And so does the loony left. So does the Socialist Marxist Communist Party. That telltale sign of theirs is they try to blame everybody else for something before they do it, right? So, of course, there was all that illegal help from Russia and everybody else colluding with President Trump. So the fact that they alluded to that, you can see that this is alluding now to getting funding from Russia and Iran and Venezuela and China. So don't know why Russia will be helping both sides here. Doesn't make much sense. Okay. So House Oversight Committee Chairman James Comer, he revealed that he received new information this week from the outgoing Biden team, the Treasury Department, about the number of suspicious activity reports they got. Now, a suspicious activity report, or SARS, as they know them, basically, it's when you're filing for political action committees or things of that nature, like running campaigns, amongst other things, you file with the U.S. government, and anything that's flagged as suspicious gets uploaded into the suspicious activity reports. Okay. So here, they flagged suspicious activity transactions involving Act Blue. Now, Act Blue, over the course of their tenure, has raised over $2 billion with a B, $2 billion for liberal causes. Okay, most of it being recently with the border czar Kamala Harris. Okay, now Comer says, and I'm going to read this word for word because Mike Zuckerberg, I only speak in facts, right? That's why Mark Zuckerberg can't come after me and say that I'm lying. I've never been fact-checked by him, and there's a reason for it. So, Comer goes on to state, and I quote, "Look, what we've been requesting on our end of this investigation is we follow bank records. And we did that during the Hunter Biden, Joe Biden influence peddling schemes. We started out with the suspicious activity reports, or the SARS, which were bank violations that they turned into Treasury, and if they feel like you're going to have a client that's committing some type of crime." Okay, so what he's saying is They started as bank violations. They turned it into the Treasury Department if they feel like that client is going to be committing some sort of financial crime there. Okay. He said that we requested the SARs from Treasury on Act Blue several months ago, long before the election, and they obstructed and delayed, and they hadn't given us anything. Now the Treasury Department looked at this, and they got back to James Comer, and he said, Mr. Comer, listen, and I quote, "Look, this is the largest production of SARs that we have ever had to compile that's been requested." Let me read that again. From the Treasury Department. "This is the largest production of SARs that we have ever had to compile that has been requested." This is for APM Joe, you know, the big guy, President Biden, right? His son, Hunter Biden, okay? Going all the way into Act Blue, all right? He said there's at least 400 SARs. Not like a couple here or there. At least 400. So there may be more, okay? Now remember, this is all part of that larger investigation that's being done by Representative Steele and Representative Jordan, okay? Or Steele. I apologize, the representative. Now, in late October 2023, Steele sent a letter demanding Act Blue answer questions about his practices. So now we're going back to October, a little bit over a year before the election. And they sent, Representative Steele sent a letter to Act Blue demanding some answers for some questions, saying, look, there's a lot of things going on that look a little shady there, guys. So we need a couple explanations as to what's going on, right? And again, of course, as you heard from Comer earlier, that they had been obstructed and delayed. So this wasn't an easy task. So, of course, between October 2023 and now, they finally have started releasing some questions, some answers, and also the combination of Chairman Jordan and Chairman Steele are also writing letters and requesting information from CIFS, which is their AI privacy group, to make sure that all the fundraising that's going through is legit. Okay, so I think that's part of the reason why they started to answer questions. Now, September 6, 2024, so just a few months ago, Steele introduced the Secure Handle of Internet Electronic Donations, or SHIELDS Act, okay? Now, what this does is this prohibits committees from accepting online contributions without CVV and billing addresses tied to the card. Now, part of this investigation, looking into the Privacy Act, it said that they weren't looking and securing the CVV information on the back of credit cards. For anybody that doesn't know what that CVV is, that's that little 3-digit number, or maybe possibly 4-digit number, that's unique to your card. So you have your credit card number, your expiration date, and then they always ask you for that little 3-digit number there. That's what that is. So Act Blue was not asking for that. Okay. Also entailed in this SHIELDS Act was smurfing. Okay. On the smurfing, I'll explain to you in just a little bit here what it is. But on the smurfing front, the legislation urges that the Federal Election Commission, or the FEC, to bar individuals from aiding or abetting a person making contribution in the name of another person. Okay, so that's smurfing. So when you're making a contribution in the name of another person, that's also not allowed. The only person that can make that contribution is you. You do it under your name. So you're not allowed to say, okay, I'm going to donate $500 as my Zuckerberg. I'm also going to have my neighbor, Mr. Jones, Mr. Tom Jones. He's going to donate another $500, and now I'm going to give it to him. Okay, so that's not allowed, right? So earlier that year, Representative Steele, he asked the attorney generals in 5 different states to start investigating. So now that's grown from 5 states to 19 states. So this isn't something small and minor, and this is now expanding into almost half the states in the United States. And Act Blue just provided his committee new evidence. Now remember, we're going to follow back to the state here, okay? ActBlue just began automatically banning the use of foreign bought gift cards for donations on September 9th. Now you remember, Shield just came out September 6th. So they didn't ban the use of foreign bought cards for donations until 3 days afterwards, which means up until this point in time, they were taking foreign donations, okay, because they're taking foreign gift cards. All right. So up until that point in time, they were taking them. 3 days after Representative Steele gets Shield passed, they stop. So now they got to do all this investigating as to how many foreign gift cards they took before September 9th, and also how many foreign gift cards they took after September 9th. Okay. The cards may have been used for years, including majority of the 2024 cycle, right? So again, this is where that foreign adversaries come in with Iran and Russia and Venezuela and China. Okay. So not only that, no, sorry about that. Not a little brain fart. Not only that, when they were taking this money, they were taking it in terms of little $5 donations, little $10 donations, things like that. In fact, Comer comes out and says it's almost impossible to think that every single rich person or Democrat in America is sitting in the basement making $5 and $10 donations to every Democrat running for Congress every day, because that's basically what it would take if their money stream was legitimate. Now, these are his words, not mine. So what he's saying is, in order to have raised the over $2 billion that ActBlue raised, you would have to have every single rich person or Democrat in America sitting in their basement every single day making $5 and $10 donations to every Democrat running for Congress every single day. So that's essentially what's going on. That's in order to generate this type of funding that they're claiming they generated. Okay? So obviously, congressional investigators believe now, and they're going to be looking into recent security changes by the ActBlue that may have stopped that suspicious flow of monies, which was that September 9th when they stopped taking the foreign business, the foreign gift cards. Sorry, it is just a rough day today. Now, Treasury Department reports will help determine whether anyone is associated with ActBlue. Okay, so once the Treasury Department reports come out, they'll be looking through to see like who's with ActBlue, who's not, where the money comes from, where the money's going, how they got the money, everything like that. And Treasury Department even says they may have known this money was coming from overseas, or may have turned a blind eye, hoping that nobody would discover. Okay, so even the Treasury Department's going, look, this looks shady. This looks real shady. So we're not quite sure that if you knew it was coming from overseas and you just kind of said, you know what, these are little donations and maybe nobody will catch on, right? So I think that's what the Treasury Department is looking at now, is to see how many of those little donations actually came from foreign gift cards. And right in the FEC, you cannot accept political donations from foreign adversaries. Okay, that's not allowed. So this is ActBlue's way of trying to work around it by getting the foreign gift cards done. Okay, and even Speaker Mike Johnson just came out and he's calling for an expansion on House probes on this. So you got the party, the Socialist Communist Marxist Party, who blames Trump for colluding with everybody. Doesn't matter who. They're just going to pick a country and run with it. Obviously, most of the time it's Russia, right? Because they think that him and Putin are best friends. When in reality, Putin respects President Trump. That's what it is. Just like President Trump respects Putin. Okay? They're both strong leaders. Whether or not you like them or not, that's a whole different story. But they're both strong leaders. And that right there is a call for at least a little bit of respect. Okay? So, and we can see the lack of respect when 8 p.m. Joe goes out. You know, he's scoffed at, he's laughed at, you know, these front row seats that President Trump and every other president used to get. President Biden is sitting in the back somewhere, if he's even there, and now wandering off into a jungle, right? So there's no respect for our executive right now, our president. But President Trump has that respect. And the Socialist Communist Marxist Party tries to turn that show of respect into collusion or best friends or whatever the case may be. So what we're really seeing, though, and again, until this is actually proven, but I think it will be, right? What we're seeing, though, is everything that the Socialist Marxist Communist Party has said President Trump did, they're actually doing, right? So that's what we're seeing here. We're seeing more of this Act Blue come into place, and just more and more information coming out. And again, we're going to follow up with it as more information comes, because this is huge, guys. This is basically allowing our elected officials to take money from our enemies, lie to you about it, and then sit down and remain in power. Now, we all know that our political elected officials take money from enough companies and corporations now. And when those companies and corporations give them donations, they expect something in return. So if Iran, China, Russia, Venezuela are donating hundreds of millions or billions of dollars to a campaign or a political action committee that's funneling out the money for them, what are they expecting in return then? So just don't blow this story. Just don't look over this story like it's not a big deal, because this is a huge deal here. You're basically allowing foreign adversaries or foreign countries or whatever the case may be to come to America and buy our officials, our elected officials. And then, of course, there's going to be something in return. Quid pro quo, right? That's how that works. I'm on the outside and I know this. You guys all across the United States, all my social educators, you should all be worried about this. Because this is China, this is Russia, this is Iran, this is Venezuela, and whoever else is involved, buying the Socialist Communist Marxist Party, and then expecting what in return? So I'm glad Speaker Johnson's on board. He wants to actually expand the probe. I'm glad that Representative Steele and Representative Jim Jordan got everything going. It looks like we're going to get some more cooperation because the Treasury Department's involved now, and it looks like they're actually doing their job a little bit. And a lot of these alphabet organizations, you notice, are starting to do their job a little bit, right? Why? Because President Trump is coming in, and crap's going to change. So anybody that knows they're not going to lose, anybody that knows they're going to lose their job, they're done. They already said they're going to be out. Not a big deal. But those that are in like middle management, upper management, or the whatever, they don't want to lose their jobs. So they're already starting to make the switch a little bit. They want to make sure that there's accountability. Now, there's never going to be 100% accountability, but you can start to see it swinging a little bit. Just knowing President Trump is going to be sitting in that office January 20th. All right, so don't sleep on this story, guys. That's why I'm updating it, because it is really, truly important. That's why I want you guys to be educated on it and understand what's going on. Okay? But speaking of January, the IG Inspector General today, Michael Horowitz, he just came out with another report, this time on January 6th. Okay? And he comes out and he states in his little statement that he released, it's kind of long, so I apologize. It says 26 FBI CHSs were in Washington, D.C. on January 6th in connection with the event of January 6th. The OIG determined that 3 of those CHS had been tasked by the field officers to report on domestic terrorism cases subject who were possibly attending the events there January 6th. One of these 3 agents then entered the Capitol building during the riot. The other 2 entered the restricted area around the Capitol. 23 additional FBI CHSs were in Washington, D.C. and attended the January 6th events also. But, these are his words again, we determined that these CHSs did so on their own initiative and were not tasked by the FBI field officers to attend the events. So in other words, the FBI didn't place them there. Of these 23 CHSs, 3 entered the Capitol during the riot. An additional 11 entered the restricted area around the Capitol. The remaining 9 who attended the events of January 6th did not enter the Capitol nor the restricted area or engage in any other illegal activity. Again, this is from the report. Although many of the 26 CHS agents who attended January 6th events had provided information relevant to the January 6th electoral certification before that day, the source's information was no more specific than and was consistent with other sources of information that the FBI and its WFO had received about the potential for violence on January 6th, including from other sources, tips the FBI received, and other social media. Now, he goes on to say a few of the 26 CHS also provided information about the riot as it occurred. So that's his statement about the January 6th. Couple things here. If you remember, former FBI director, Christopher Wray, was asked, did you have any agents on the ground? And he denied vehemently, we did not have any agents on the ground there. The answer was consistently no. Just like APM Joe, did you have anything to do with Hunter Biden and his Ukraine deals? The answer was always no. Okay? Come to find out that 3 of them were actually tasked there. So the FBI director was lying. Not only did he lie, he perjured himself. Because he did it on the oath to Congress. So we need to be making phone calls to our congressmen, to our U.S. senators, and he needs to be I don't want to say reprimanded. That's not even strong enough. He needs to be held accountable for his perjuring himself. So whatever the determination for that is, if it's jail time, if it's whatever, he needs to be held accountable for perjury, because he clearly stated up there that he had no FBI agents on the ground when there were 3 that were sent there. Okay, now the other 23, they were there on their own volition. So at least according to what they found out. Who knows? The field officer said they didn't send them. Something else might come out later. But as of right now, 3 of the 26 were sent there. 23 of the 26 went there on their own volition. Okay? Now, 1 of the 3 entered the Capitol, and the other 2 entered the restricted area around the Capitol. Now, when you enter the Capitol or the restricted area around the Capitol, you're breaking the law. Now, all of the January 6s, they're all sitting in jail cells right now. They're all being punished. They all haven't seen their families in how long? Not these 3 FBI agents. One of them went through the Capitol, 1 went through the restricted area, which they were not allowed to do. They were told they were not allowed to enter the restricted area and they were not allowed to enter the Capitol. It was in their orders. But yet they did it anyways. So they need to be held accountable for breaking the law too, if we're going to hold all these January 6s accountable. They need to be sitting in a jail cell just like everybody else, right? I mean, fair is fair. Of those 23, 3 of them entered the Capitol and 11 of them the restricted area. So that's another 14. Guess how many were prosecuted and put in jail? 0. So you had 14 of the 23 were either in the Capitol or in the restricted area. 3 of the 3 that were sent there in the Capitol or the restricted area. So that's 17 agents breaking the law. And not one single agent is held accountable. Yet there are thousands, over 1,500 sitting in jails right now because they took a tour of the Capitol. Some people, if you pinged from the area, they're rounding you up. It's because your cell phone was there. You were in the area. It didn't matter if you were in the Capitol or in the restricted area or not. So when they were saying that the FBI was politicized, this is a great example. When you guys are held accountable, when I say you, I mean the social educators, I mean the free citizens out here in the United States. When you all are held accountable, but an FBI investigator is not, when it was specified that they were not allowed in the restricted area nor allowed in the Capitol, they broke the law just like you did. Again, we need to be making some phone calls to our United States representatives and United States senators and demand accountability and punishment for these guys. Because it doesn't matter who breaks the law. If you break the law, you break the law. Right? So, as it turns out too, everybody knew that the IG, Michael Horowitz, was given his findings on January 6th today. It was already press released and everybody knew it. So what does that coward, that POS, Christopher Wray do? He resigns. That's right, Satan. Nobody's above the law. Nobody at all. But that coward Christopher Wray, knowing that the IG Michael Horowitz is putting out a press release today on January 6th, resigns the day before. You think he knew something? You think maybe he knew he perjured himself and he knew he lied when he said there were no FBI agents that were sent there? Now, I'm going to give him the benefit of the doubt. As much as I think this guy's a piece of scum, as much as I think this guy should be sitting in jail for perjuring himself, I'm going to give him the benefit of the doubt that those 23 he didn't know about. At least didn't send them there. Obviously, they were given updates so they knew they were there. All right? Whether or not they sent them there or not, they knew those 23 were there. And you can't stop an FBI agent or CIA agent or secret whoever to go to a rally. That's, if they're off duty, they can go to whatever they want. So I'm not holding Christopher Wray responsible for that. But that lying POS scumbag sat right there, lied to each and every one of you, looked you right in the face and said, nope, didn't send anybody. When he sent 3. I know that's not a lot. 3. But you know what? He still lied. He still thinks nothing of the American people to give and he can't even give a straight answer when asked. So I don't know about you. I know what I'll be doing tomorrow. Be on the phone with my congressman, on the phone with my U.S. senator, and asking, how did Christopher Wray get away with perjury? Now, I know it just came out, but that's how he got away with it so far. But I want to know if there's any plans for my senator, for my congressman, to go after charges for him. That's it. Like, right. That's so unlike the FBI for lying under oath, right? Yeah, it's completely unlike them. You know? Don't get me wrong. I think the FBI, the agents in the field are fantastic. I'm not saying that those 3 guys there that went there because they were ordered to were wrong. They weren't. If you're told to go there and keep communications open and maybe you did hear something. Maybe there's word on the ground that something was going to happen. Yes, you want to be there. Absolutely. I get it. I'm not blaming those 3 agents for going there and doing their job. But what I am saying is if everybody else that went into the Capitol and everybody else that went into the restricted area around the Capitol is now sitting in jail, these 3 agents need to be sitting in jail too. And Christopher Wray, if he would have just said, look, I sent 3 agents there because we had word that something could possibly happen. That's why I had 3 agents on the ground. I'd at least give you a little bit of respect for that. Just a little bit. But you couldn't even tell the truth. So if you're hiding something as minuscule as having 3 agents on the ground, and I know that the IG Michael Horowitz did his job here, but I can guarantee it that if they dug deeper, and I hope they do, once Pete Hegseth and everybody else is in office, and they get down to the bottom of this, I think you're going to find out this isn't the end of the story. There's going to be more. I think there's going to be a lot more coming out. So we'll keep an eye on that one too. And that's it. All I got for tonight, guys. We could go on and on and on. You know, we got the drones over in New York and New Jersey and all that conundrum and of course, you know, our government don't know anything. I don't know what it is. That seems to be the answer to anything. I don't know. Right? The thing they do know is it's not from Iran. They don't know anything else, but they do know it's not from Iran. Act blue. Of course they're covering that up. Could be from China. Act blue. Of course they're covering it up. They don't know anything else about these drones except for the fact that it's definitely not Iran. We know that. So if you don't know anything, how do you know that? We can go on and on about that too, but we'll save that for another episode. I want to get a little bit more information on that before we report on it. I do appreciate everybody for showing up. Very last minute. Apologize about the hiccup today. It's supposed to be on another platform. Once I get my streaming up and running a little bit better, we will fix that and we'll be jumping over. Until then, I will be back on Sunday covering another subject for y'all, educating y'all on what's going on. And I want you guys to do what you're doing. Keep educating. Letting everybody know what's really going on. Keep combating that loony left. We need to keep them at bay. And we need to keep the communication and education going with the Democrats that are still able to comprehend and have an honest debate and open discussion. And of course, the people in the center, because we want to bring, now that we're actually going to make America great again, we need to keep America great again and keep it with its normalcy. Okay? So everybody that's watching today, everybody that will watch, I appreciate each and every one of you. Love you all. You know I'm going to pray for you. And until Sunday, Mike Zuckerberg out.